Warning: This podcast may be disturbing to some listeners. Due to the graphic nature, listener discretion is advised. Welcome from wherever you are. This is the Demon Inside podcast. I am your host, John Venom. If you would like to review another episode of the Demon Inside, you can go to Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and any podcast platform. And please, don't forget to subscribe and rate us with 5 stars. A new episode will come out once a week. We will be right back after a word from our sponsors. Hello, my Demon Insiders, and welcome back to the Demon Inside. I'm your host, John Venom, and today we are going to be talking about the Demon Inside, Michael Miller. I want to give a warning before I start talking about this episode because this is a crime against children. Michael Miller killed his wife and his 2 kids. His daughter was 10 and his son was 4. Here's the other thing. When I first started to look at this case, for some odd reason, I had a feeling that it wasn't possession. And I kept replaying it over and over again because it kept popping up on YouTube. And I think that this is one of those cases that I'm not sure if it was possession or if it was mental illness or if this guy just was a plain out, straight out killer. He talks a lot about God and the devil, but he doesn't have any of the signs that we've seen on other episodes. You know, sometimes when they talk, they talk very slowly, or they have delusions. They look around the room and things like that. Maybe he did have schizophrenia. I'm not sure, but there was a couple of things in there that convinced me that this could have been demonic infestation or demonic oppression. But before we get into that, let's start with a little bit of background. Now, I couldn't find too much on Michael Miller because this happened May 30th of 2009, and what I got was him and his wife had been together for 11 years. They had met when they were working at a burger place, and within the year they had their daughter. And, you know, they had their ups and their downs and things like that. And according to neighbors, supposedly they had a lot of arguments. Now, there wasn't really anything in police files that I could find. So if there was arguments, nobody ever called the police. This case reminded me of Deborah Jeter. If you remember the case of Deborah Jeter, she killed her 2 daughters in an abandoned house. One was still alive, bleeding to death, when Deborah called 911 to have an ambulance go and pick them up. And that's pretty much what Michael Miller did. He did the same thing where he calls 911 to let them know that he just killed his family. So I'm going to play you the 911 call and listen to what he says.
911, what is your emergency?
I just killed my family with a knife. All of them, all 3 of them.
What's your name?
Michael Miller. This isn't a joke.
I'm sorry?
This isn't a joke.
Okay.
Please come out here right away because I am terrified.
Okay, are you sure they're not breathing?
My son was.
Where's your wife at?
They're all here in the kitchen. Get someone out here right away.
Okay, you need to stay on the phone with me, okay?
I'm on the phone with you.
Just stay on the phone with me. Your name is what again? Mike?
Michael Miller.
Michael? Okay. Why, have you been having some problems?
I don't know if it did something, but I'm not myself. I'm possessed.
Where's your wife at in the kitchen? Is she on the floor? Is she in the chair?
She's on the floor.
Okay, what's her name?
Adriana Miller.
Have you been drinking tonight?
No, I'm not.
Okay. You don't have any other weapons on you?
No.
Okay, what color shirt do you have on?
I'm in my underwear.
Okay, I've got officers on the way. You just need to stay on the phone with me till they get there, okay? Is there anybody else in the house?
No.
Do you have a shirt on or just your underwear?
I'm just in regular underwear.
Are there any other weapons inside the house?
No.
Are you sure that you did this and you're not dreaming?
No, I'm positive. I'm positive. They are over there. They are dead. I'm not dreaming. Get someone over here.
Okay, they're on the way, Mike. You need to stay on the phone with me, okay?
Okay.
I've got them on the way. Why would your family be up this early in the morning in the kitchen?
Well, I work nights, and they woke up. I was threatening my wife with the knife, and my kids came out, and I killed my wife, and I killed both my kids.
Okay, are you sure you're not dreaming, Michael?
I am positive. I swear to God, this is real.
Do you have any blood on your hands?
Yes, all over me. It's all over me.
Okay, Michael, like I said, I'm staying on the phone with you till we get there, okay? You just need to stay on the phone with me. Can you go to another room?
I'm outside. I'm waiting for them to come.
No, I don't want you to be outside.
Okay, I'm outside. God, Jesus, what happened?
Where do you work at?
John's Pizza.
And you just got off work?
No, I got off yesterday at 9. I came home, but I couldn't sleep. I haven't been sleeping. I had really a hard time sleeping.
Okay, so you haven't been to sleep tonight. And
no,
why is your family up at this time of the morning?
Because I scared the shit out of them. I was screaming at the top of my lungs.
Uh-huh.
And I killed them.
Do you have any other family members here in the Glendale area?
Not in Glendale. Well, her family.
Her family lives here?
Yes.
Have you ever had any type of thoughts of doing this before?
Never, ever. It just hit me like a brick in the face. I don't even know why I did it. I don't even have a valid reason.
Michael, I'm hoping that you're just dreaming this.
I pray to God this is a dream.
Okay.
I hope to God this is a dream. I hope I am just fucking freaking out.
Okay.
I hope to God it is, but it's not. It's real. God, please.
Okay, it's your son and who else?
My daughter.
Can you go over and...
No, I can't. I cannot.
Why not?
I can't look at what I did.
Okay, well, you need to. You need to face up to the reality of this. You need to go and help him.
Okay, what can I do?
Okay, I need... Michael.
What can I do?
Michael, listen to me. What I need you to do right now is I need you to go to the front door, and I need you to step outside with your hands up in the air and stay on the phone with me.
Okay.
Are you going outside?
Yeah.
You out the front door?
Yes.
Okay, you need to put the phone down and put your hands up in the air.
So when police arrive, he is in his underwear and covered in blood. And the police arrest him, and they go into the house, and the wife and the daughter are dead. He stabbed them. And the son is actually still alive. And he survives this whole traumatic incident. But the son got a lot worse than the mother and the son and the daughter. But let's continue first with this. So when the police arrested him, they took him into the jail holding cell for processing. This is when he started to yell, hit the doors. He threw feces at the walls. He was just being a complete disruptive person. And finally, they get him into an interrogation room. Now, the rest of this show is going to be a lot of what Michael Miller is talking about in that interrogation. If you want to hear the entire interrogation, I suggest going to YouTube and looking up Michael Miller interrogation, and you'll see it. They even show his video of him sitting there and talking and discussing all these things. But I'm going to start off with this. So when the police went through the house, they found a 63-page files that had diagnosis of schizophrenia, schizoaffective, bipolar, things like that. And so this was one of the reasons that the police thought that maybe he was looking into this to be able to claim that he was crazy. But there's another option as well. Maybe the wife was looking into it because she was worried about him. Or maybe he was looking into it himself because he knew that something wasn't right. And he discusses this too. He says that for some odd reason, he didn't feel right for a long time. So when the police start asking him questions about what happened, I'm going to play that right now. Take a listen to this.
Well, I got sick. I got sick in November. I was hospitalized November, December, January. I started seeing him in November, December of 2003.
What do you mean you got sick?
I thought people were following me. I thought cars were following me. I thought people were trying to kill me. I saw the spiritual battle that was being fought, and it made me panic because I couldn't understand. You know, the Bible says that even Earth it sees what happens and it trembles. And I know the other day I saw something that kind of freaked me out. And what happened was I saw a crab, like a sand crab.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it walking and I looked, and then it turned into a leaf. So I am really sick.
So this is one of those things that bothered me about this case, because he talks about this crab that turns into a leaf. I remember Austin Haroff talking about a turtle that was going to attack his dad, himself, and his sister. Now, Austin Haroff never used that as an excuse saying, oh, I'm going crazy, but Michael Miller admits that the crab turning into a leaf wasn't real, because he says that he's getting sick and he notices it as that. So is he fully aware of the way he is, or is this just an elaborate hoax? So let's continue.
You know, obviously we need to talk about what happened.
Okay.
With you calling the police department over. Can you just tell me what happened?
I was at home. I didn't get any sleep last night. My wife got up and we were running around the house doing stuff. And I pulled out a knife and I stabbed her. Stabbed my daughter, stabbed my son, punched my son in the face. I was trying to kill him. But it wasn't me.
Really?
It wasn't me.
Who was it?
It was me.
You said it was you.
Yes.
Okay. Happened.
I said a prayer with my son. I rubbed his back and I said a prayer, tucked him in, and he fell asleep.
What kind of prayer? Is it like a
To
standard
Jesus. No, we don't usually pray.
Uh-huh.
We don't usually pray. We just 2 weeks ago I feel like I've been baptized with the Holy Spirit,
Uh-huh.
with fire. I feel like I'm on fire for the Lord.
Oh, good.
So I'm trying to pray with him and teach him. Well, I'm not trying. I am praying with him, and I'm doing things that the Lord wants us to do.
What did you guys pray about?
I pray that the Lord would keep him safe. We thank him for the house. We thank him for the car. We thank them for the food. We thank them for mommy and daddy.
So just your standard kind of a thank
Yeah.
you to Jesus prayer.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what happened?
Then I went and tucked in my daughter.
Did you pray with your daughter?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Now, for me, this part is interesting because he talks about how he prayed with his son, but he doesn't talk about praying with his daughter. So obviously he was a lot closer to his son than his daughter. Also, He says that 2 weeks prior to this, he felt like he was on fire from the Lord. And we've talked about this before, where people feel like they're on fire, so they strip down and get naked. Now, this is one of the things that convinced me that it might be demonic, because when they found him, he was in his underwear. So it's possible that he stripped down because he was enveloped in that fire feeling that people get. Let's continue.
And then we tried to sleep. I tried to go to sleep, but I listened to my headphones when I was laying down.
Mm-hmm.
I had my MP3 player. I was listening to my headphones, and I laid down in bed, and she fell asleep, and I didn't fall asleep at all. I kind of meditated for 2 hours, and then I got up and I lost train of thought. I meditated, and I got up, and I went on the computer. I think God help me! What do we do? That's when the fighting started. When I woke up.
Do you know what time this was about?
The fighting?
Yeah.
I want to say about 8.
Well, you got home at 10:20.
Oh no, we didn't fight that night. The fight was this morning.
Yeah.
This morning.
What time were you guys fighting?
Oh, we were fighting probably about. That was probably about 4 in the morning when I went on the computer, I think.
Oh, okay. So you've been up that whole time?
Yeah, I've been up the whole time.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Were
then
you just having a hard time sleeping?
I have medicine to help me sleep. It caused me to sleepwalk and do stuff in my sleepwalking. So,
So you're not taking that anymore?
No, I'm not taking that anymore. So I'm taking something else now.
And does that seem to work? Or?
It worked the first night, but it didn't work last night.
Have you only been on it 2 days?
Yes.
Okay. So you took the pill last night?
Yes.
Okay, and you didn't sleep?
No.
About 4 a.m. you said?
About 4 a.m. I woke up.
And what happened?
My wife got mad at me, really mad at me for yelling, or she got mad at me for not sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
I go, babe, you can't get mad at me for not sleeping. It's not my fault. And she, well, no. She goes off, no. And I say, well, what the f- is your problem? And then I started meditating in my brain, and I started thinking, okay, well, God the Father, Jesus the Son, who's the Spirit? Who's the Spirit of God? And I started thinking it was Lucifer. I thought it was Satan. I thought it was God the Father. I thought he was married to Lucifer, and they had a son named Jesus.
Okay.
That's what I thought. And then I was indwelt by Satan, and I killed him.
Well, wait, let's talk about that. You said you're enveloped with Satan? What was the word?
Indwelt.
Okay. What does that mean?
Consumed.
Tell me a little bit about that. When you said your Satan was in you, what happened?
I lost all control. I had no self-control. None.
Uh-huh.
I just snapped, and she became like a demon.
All right.
And I just,
So what'd you do?
I killed her
How?
with a knife.
Where was the knife?
I stabbed her a lot. I don't know where.
I mean, where's the knife? Where did you get the knife?
In our knife holder thing.
Like, tell me, how did you stab her? I mean, was she on the ground or was she standing up?
I blacked out.
Yeah.
I stabbed her at least 4 times.
Okay.
Um,
Do you know where you stabbed her?
no.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Is she okay?
I'll tell you everything
Okay,
that's going on.
okay.
So, I just don't want to lose our train of thought here.
I'm sorry.
Did you stab her first?
Yes.
Okay.
I was screaming at her. I said, shut the f*** up. I started taking songs from Eminem's music.
Uh-huh.
I started taking lyrics from Eminem's music and saying, you're gonna f***ing die. Here comes Satan. I'm the Antichrist. I'm gonna kill you. You're f***ing gone.
Uh-huh.
And I started stabbing her. I did. I did.
Do you know how many times you stabbed her?
If I was to guess, I would say 4, but maybe
Okay.
3, maybe 5.
And was she standing up or was she on the ground?
She was standing up. I think I got her in the stomach.
Okay. And then she fell to the ground, or
Yeah,
did you stab her while she was on the ground?
in the heart.
Did you punch her at all?
Yes, in the face.
Before or after you stabbed her?
Maybe both.
What happened to your hand?
This was when I was holding the knife, I was trying to stab her.
Uh-huh.
She had her hand on it too, and she was trying to push it away. And that's when I pulled it back, and then my hand slipped, and I cut my finger, and then I sunk it into her head.
Did you kick her?
Yeah, I think so. In the legs.
Why'd you kick her?
Kick her while she's down.
Yeah. Make sure she's down.
Make sure she's down
Make sure
for
she's
good.
Was she begging for you not to do it? Was she telling you not to do it?
Yes, she was begging.
What was she saying?
Mike, don't do this. Don't do this. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. Stop, stop, stop. She was in a panic. I've never seen her like that, and I never want to see her like that again.
And then you stabbed her in the chest?
Yes.
Did she say anything after that?
I don't remember. I was so enraged.
So his wife, with her last breath, she was calling out to her daughter to call for help.
I said, she's not going to hear you. You're all by yourself.
And the daughter, well, let me just give you a warning, because he's going to describe what he did to his daughter and his son next. And it's very graphic. So again, with the warning. So now the interrogator talks about his daughter.
I stabbed my daughter, too.
So tell me about that.
It was almost like God just put her there. I didn't see her coming. She was just there all of a sudden.
Okay.
And that scared me. I'm not going to lie. That scared me. And I just take it out on her. I was furious. I don't know what I was furious about, though. She was screaming, and I grabbed the knife, and I started walking towards her, and she started panicking like you would not believe. She came over, and she started freaking out. Daddy, stop. And I got her, I think I got her by the hair or by the arm, and just sunk it in her. Right in the middle of her chest. I just dug it right into her chest.
And where was your first, when you stabbed her, where was the first stab?
The heart.
The heart?
I think.
And how many stabs after?
Maybe one.
And where was that?
Maybe the arm or the stomach.
Okay.
She was dead. She had a purple face.
Okay. So she came out after you were stabbing your wife?
No, I had the knife in my hand, and I was going to stab her when she came out.
When your daughter came out?
Yes.
Because you knew she was going to come out, or?
I didn't know she was going to come out. I thought there was a certain spell on the house, and I didn't think she would actually get up and come out. I thought Satan was going to keep everyone asleep so I could just kill her, but I didn't know what I was going to do with the other two kids. I was going to kill my wife, but I didn't know what to do with them. It's kind of patchy. I don't have exact frame by frame details, because the whole time I was in there, I was trying to ignore it and fight it and not see it.
Okay. Did you punch her?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. You said her eyes were open.
Yeah.
Did you leave the knife in her, or did you just stab her with it?
I just stabbed her and took it out.
Okay. Was it the same knife as with your wife?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So what I found curious about this was that he said that the Lord must have put her there, but he kind of flip-flops. I think like he wanted to kill his whole family, but he's trying to play it off that he didn't, because here's the thing. He said that the daughter just appeared and that he got scared, but he still killed her. Now, he never says that the son came into the kitchen where he had killed his wife and killed his daughter. So I'm assuming that he went to the son's room and killed the son there. Now, I'm going to play what he did to his son. And like I said, this is heartbreaking. This is a 4-year-old little boy who he says he loved more than anything in the world. Take a listen.
And you said you were what? Ruthless with him, or what?
Yes.
What was the word?
No mercy.
No
No
mercy?
mercy at all with him. I went after him so hard and so fast.
And was he
That
telling
poor
you to
boy.
stop?
He was just screaming, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy." I was the worst on him. I stabbed him the most. I stabbed him in the back. I stuck it in his arm and twisted it. I f***ed him up.
Yeah, why would you stab him?
You know, lately I've been talking so much about my son, and going to work, I'm talking about how I love my son and how dear he is to my heart and how precious he is and how God has blessed me with him. And And then I go and do something like that where I just lose control.
Why? Why your son?
The devil had me.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't me.
Right.
It wasn't me. It was me, but it wasn't my insides that could do that.
Mhm.
It wasn't my insides that could kill my family.
Right. But I guess what I'm asking is why him so many times?
Because he wouldn't die. Every time I stab him, he'd just scream.
Uh-huh.
He'd just scream and, Dad!
Right. Where on his body did you stab him? You said you got him in the
back,
arm and...
in the back, in the arm, in the stomach. I punched him right in the face.
Why'd you punch him in the face?
Because I wanted him to die. Because I was indwelt by Satan.
Right.
Then I see my wife laying in a pool of blood.
Uh-huh.
I see my daughter laying in a pool of blood. I get up and I have peace. I'm like, why do I have peace?
How many times again did you say you stabbed him?
Probably 4 or 5. He got the most.
If I told you 11, would that be too much or not that much?
11?
I'm asking.
That is way too much.
Way too much?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think it's possible that you stabbed him 11 times? Why do you think it's possible?
Because I wasn't in the right mind. I was not in the right mind.
Do you think what you did, do you think was wrong?
Yes.
Why?
Yes and no. Killing my family is wrong. But it wasn't wrong because God is in control of all things. And he says all things work together for good for those who love the Lord. And I love the Lord.
But do you know the difference between right and wrong?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you think it's wrong killing your family, but then
Yes.
it's right. But
No, it's on the physical sense, it's wrong. But in the spiritual level, it's okay. I was like, I feel calm. I'm like, okay, God is doing something here. I just don't know what he's doing. And then I got some blood on me, and then I came and I got into, I don't know what happened to my feet. I don't know what this is all about. They look like piercings, like Jesus.
then what happened?
Then I tried to make a cigarette. I rolled a cigarette because I rolled my own cigarette. So I rolled a cigarette, and I was kind of in a panic. I had peace, but I was in a panic. I just kind of walked around like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? And I was looking at him. I was like, die, you fucking I just wanted them just to die. I was so angry at my family. I wanted them dead. But then I got here.
Well, why were you so angry with your family?
Satan. Like I said, I was telling God. I was praying to God. I was praying to Jesus. That Jesus, okay, your Father's the Father, and Satan must be the Spirit because the spiritual side comes from.
I know, but what I'm asking you is why are you so mad at the family?
I don't know. I don't.
Okay.
I've never had that kind of anger or hate towards them like I had this morning.
Okay.
So now Michael is trying to go back to his philosophy on where Satan is the Holy Spirit. And the officer doesn't let him do that. He keeps pushing towards why, he committed this crime. But in a little bit, he's going to actually let him talk about what he sees in the spiritual world. So take a listen to this.
I saw
Okay.
I saw your bloody footprints down the hallway towards your bedroom,
Okay.
and you're dripping blood. Why did you go back there?
To pray to Jesus, to thank him for what he did.
What did he do?
He saved my family's life.
How did he save their lives?
He used me to shoot him or stab him. I didn't shoot them. He used me to stab them, and then he brought them back to newness of life.
What do you mean by newness of life?
My calling in life is to witness to Mormons
Mm-hmm.
and Catholics.
Okay.
I see the spiritual realm.
Okay.
I'm a beginner, but I feel like I'm learning the spiritual realm pretty well. I feel like God is doing something with me that's going to be magnificent. It won't outdo. But
Okay, but my question is what is newness of life?
newness of life. Well, they were dead in their trespasses, and now they're raised to newness of life.
Are they up with the Heavenly Father?
They
Is that
are.
what you're trying to
They
say?
are seated in heavenly places. They are seated in the heavenly places. Yes.
Was God talking to you when you were stabbing your family, killing your family?
Yes.
What was God saying?
Kill them like to Christ. F them up. Destroy them. Destroy them. They are nothing.
Okay. But do you think God actually wants your family dead? That
No.
He wants your kids dead?
No, he's the perfect example of a family.
Okay, then
Maybe it was from Satan. But that's not from Satan. Jesus is within me.
So Michael talks about being a witness, and it kind of struck a nerve with me because if you'll remember, Lori Daybell said that at the end of the world, she was going to be a witness to the end of the world. And it's just really weird that they would have that same philosophy. Now, he did bring up the fact that he was learning the Mormon faith and the Catholic faith, and he was going to be a witness for that. And remember, Lori Daybell was a Mormon. So could this have been a demon that was tricking him into believing all this? Because I do believe that he has a mental condition. I think he's schizophrenic. I think he might be bipolar. I think he might be, schizoaffective. But at the same time, too, he's very coherent. He's answering the police officer. He remembers everything. If you listen to his actual interview, you'll see where he says that he doesn't remember, and then he brings up like parts that he does remember, which is pretty much the whole crime. Now, when he says he stabbed his son 4 times and the police officer says 11 times, that reminded me of Isabella Guzman, because when the police officer told her that she killed her mom or stabbed her 151 times, she acted very surprised, just like Michael did. And you can hear the same kind of cadence when they refer to that. So, again, was he a cold-blooded killer? Was he demon-infested? Or was he just psychotic? Again, I don't really know, because this is one of the cases that I was on the edge about, and there are similarities to some of the other cases we've done, but then again, there's a lot that's not. Could he have been psychotic plus demon infested? Sure, he could have. Could he be a real killer? Yes, he could. Could he have used all of that to kill his family? Yes, he could have. Thanks for listening, guys. I'll talk to y'all next week. Don't forget to subscribe to the Demon Inside podcast on any podcast platform. A new episode of the Demon Inside will be released every week. Let us know what you think of the episode on all our social media platforms. If you have any questions or comments, go to the Demon Inside podcast at gmail.com or click on the link down below. We would love to hear from you. And to become a Demon Insider, go to our website, thedemoninsidepodcast.com. We thank you for listening and hope you will join us next week for a new Demon Inside podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please tell your friends. I am John Venom, and I'll see you next time, if I don't get possessed. The Demon Inside was written and created by James Porter. It is a production of Venomous Entertainment. Background music is by Lucas King.